Hello and welcome to our introduction to neoclassical art and architecture. In this module, we'll be studying the art and architecture of the 18th century neoclassical period and recognizing some of the features that continue to influence our own times. When discussing the Western art and architecture of the late 18th century and early 19th centuries of the Enlightenment period, it is termed neoclassical or new classical, referencing and drawing from the ideas, theories, and features of the art and architecture of the classical period of ancient Greece and Rome. The classical period emphasized balance and harmony, mathematical proportions and perspective, simplicity of straight lines, geometric constructs and composition, reason and logic, as opposed to the often emotional, highly elaborate, and highly decorative works of the late Baroque and Rococo art and architecture preceding this period. Likewise, subject matter switches from aristocratic or religious subjects to the common man or statesman, and secular, often political subjects and treatments. The characteristics and subject matter of 18th century art contains allusions to classical heroic subject matter and pseudo-historical events in the paintings, literature, and drama of the period, and thereby creating analogies to their own contemporary society and values, as well as to the rise of democratic principles leading to the underscoring of the enlightened people's revolutions, American and French. And these are the hallmarks of neoclassical art and architecture. This reemergence of classical characteristics can be seen by artists like Jacques-Louis David in his painting Death of Socrates, with its almost sculpted, frozen forms, or in the satirical series of paintings by William Hogarth in Marriage a la Mode. Architecture patterned after classical forms such as the Parthenon, the Pantheon, and Renaissance revivals as seen in the architecture of Palladio, Bramante, Brunelleschi, and Michelangelo, became the pattern for the buildings in the neoclassical period as evidenced by the works of Christopher Wren in England or Thomas Jefferson in America. We can still see the influences of the classical period in the majority of architecture in Washington, D.C., such as the Capitol building, the Lincoln and Jefferson memorials, and the White House, all of which were planned and constructed during the neoclassical period. Enlightenment literature of the 18th century in Europe and America explored themes of social upheaval, reversals of personal status, political satire, geographical exploration, and the comparison between the supposed natural state of man and the supposed civilized state of man. Authors tended to focus on wit and reason as opposed to emotions, as means by which they could protest and reform concerns they may have had with social and political matters. The use of satire as a means to ridicule and reform society, manners, traditions, and customs was prevalent in the works of authors like Swift and Voltaire. You'll be reading Voltaire's satire Candide. Authors who make logical arguments within their works for social, religious, and political changes. This was a time that saw the creation of new literary forms, such as the novel, the literary magazine, and the formal essay in such periodicals as The Tatler and Spectator magazines. Many authors include Pope, Swift, Voltaire, Fielding, Franklin, and Sam Johnson, whose themes and techniques continue to influence our present day. Enjoy researching the roots of our Western and American contemporary culture as you go through this module. I'm looking very much forward to hearing your ideas.